So, number 19, looking for a GCF. They don't all have a variable. They are not all divisible by a common factor, so we don't have a GCF. Here is a method for factoring something that does not have a GCF and your leading coefficient is something other than 1. Look at all the problems we've done so far. That had a leading coefficient of 1, leading coefficient of 1. After we took out the GCF, leading coefficient of 1, leading coefficient of 1. This doesn't. It has a 3. There's a method called slip, divide, slide. Okay, slip, divide, slide. So the slip means we take that first number and we slip it to the end, and we're going to multiply it by the last number. Okay, so we slip the first number to the end, and we multiply. So we've got x to the 4th plus 14x squared minus 15. Now our problem looks like the 4 previous problems that we've done. So x squared times x squared gives us x to the 4th. Factors of 15 that add to give us 14. We've got positive 15 and negative 1. Check it real quick. Positive 15x squared minus 1x squared is 14x squared. 15 times negative 1 is negative 15. Okay, now we've only done one word out of what I told you the method was called. I told you it was slip, divide, slide. So here's the divide part. That number that we slipped, we're going to divide both these coefficients by that number. So we slipped the 3, so we're going to divide by 3. 15 over 3 reduces. 15 over 3 is equal to 5. 1 over 3 does not reduce. That's as simplified as it'll go. You don't leave a fraction. You slide that 3 in front of the x squared. Check it and see if it gives you the original. X squared times 3x squared is 3x to the 4th. X squared times negative 1, negative x squared. 5 times 3x squared is 15x squared. So negative 1 plus 15, 14. Positive 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. It's kind of slick. Now, I'm going to show you, we're going to do number 20 like that as well, and then I'll come back and show you how to do it without the trick if you don't like the trick. Okay. Number 20, don't have a GCF. They don't all have the variable. They're not all divisible by the same number. So let's use slip, divide, slide. So we slip the 9 to the end. We've got m to the 4th minus 12m squared plus 36. So m squared times m squared is m to the 4th. We need factors of 36 that add to give us 12. So you may already know the answer. If you do, that's great. I'm going to go to the table, looking for whole numbers that add to give me 12. How about 6 and 6? These are both going to be negative because it's positive 36, so my signs are the same, but it was negative 12, so they both have to be negative. Okay. Both have to be negative. In 17, they're both positive because the 19 is positive. Here, they're both negative because the 12 is negative. Okay, now we've got to divide. Divide both those 6's by 9. Reduce that. 6 over 9 is 2 over 3. Use your calculator if you need to. Okay, you put 6 over 3, 6 divided by 3, or not 6 divided by 3, 6 divided by 9. And you're going to have to turn it to a fraction, 2 over 3. Last step, you slide. Slide those 3's in front. And check it. Multiply it out. 3m squared times 3m squared. 3 times 3 is 9. M squared times m squared is m to the 4th. Outside gives us negative 6m squared. Inside gives us negative 6m squared. Together those add to negative 12m squared. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Now, one thing about this one, those are exactly the same expression. So it is going to be written like this when you see it as an answer choice. When it's exactly the same, you write it once and it's squared. Okay, now, if you really don't like the slip, divide, slide, let's go back to number 19 real quick. If we just approach this from the get-go, we got to figure out what times what gives us 3x to the 4th. Well, that's not too hard because 3 is prime. It has to be 3x squared times 1x squared. Okay. Then we got to figure out what times what gives us 5. Again, in this case, it's not too hard. 5's prime. We've only got 5 and 1. However, we've got to figure out which place the 5 goes and which place the 1 goes. Because 5 and 1 by themselves don't give me 14. But what happens is 3 times 5 gives me 15. 1 times x squared gives me x squared. I got to get positive 14. So positive 15 minus 1 is going to give me the 14x squared that I need. This is called trial and error. Okay, you may have put the 5 and the 1 in the wrong place, so you would need to, you got to multiply it out to check it. You may need to switch those around. So a lot of people do like slip, divide, slide because you don't have to worry about that guess and check, that trial and error. It works the same way every single time. But then some people don't like it. They forget to divide or they forget some detail about it, so they would rather do the trial and error. I don't care which way you do it because we got the same answer, right? Same factors, it's just a different way of looking at it.